Put me backstage.
We're live. Welcome. I'm Aphrodite with Starfire. Welcome to my channel. To get some stuff. Just had a long drive, semi-long drive, and that's why I'm a little tardy for the party. Dimitri just got some condensed milk at Hallmark. We're driving through Arkansas. So yeah, how is everybody today? Am I live? I'm alive. You guys here? I'm doing the StreamYard today, and so I'm working on 2 phones. Let's see if I'm live. Addressing rise of chronic childhood illnesses, apparently. What? You can't see you. I can see the knives. This is my video. Oh, Cheryl says she got a phone call. Okay. Cheryl's waiting in the back, and she will be joining us shortly. Please join us, Cheryl, when you are done with your phone call. I don't know if you guys can hear the landscapers. So, recently, people have been on YouTube jumping on to me and attacking my story of when I was raped, and calling me a liar, and then lumping on questioning my career, and like people say, like, oh, don't worry about the opinion of these people. Hey, Sherelle.
Hey.
What's that?
No, just here trying to support you on what's going on,
Yeah.
Aphrodite was so upset, about this. So it's not right. It's not right because it's not true. It's a narrative being pushed. So I've been through a similar experience. And when you're 20 years old, you have a different mind frame of what is going on when, you're having fun, you're 20 years old, you're getting served drinks. That happened to me too. It happened to me, but I got away. I still got in trouble. Like I got away. I went to the hotel and my ex-boyfriend was in there and he was pissed off at me for getting drugged. So yeah, some people probably don't know about your story and what happened,
Yeah, and it's kind of unfortunate because, this story has been up on my channel for well over a year, maybe 2 years. I maybe I posted it in 2021. I don't know. It was while we were working on the bread truck. But 144.
Well, I think it made you real
But
upset.
it's like I don't even really remember the circumstance of why I brought it up. But it's like this continuing it seems like push to call all women feminists and paint women as like manipulators and liars, and these people took this chance to pick apart my story. When I was talking to, I called into Grace Thorpe's channel, and I didn't really expect her to make me have me rehash the story, because I was calling in because she was talking about how women are always talking about it, but they're lying. So I was like, I was going to talk about it in general. I wasn't going to like retell my story. And
so even get to that part where you told your like rape story on her channel. Was it like the topic, or
no.
were you just like letting her know about lying?
Her topic was that she's sick and tired of hearing women's fake victim stories, and she's tired of hearing of women's incest stories. She was like lumping in all of the women that have tried to talk to her recently, and I called in, and then we talked first about my anesthesia story when I was 17, and when I woke up in surgery as they were waking me up on the operating table, and the anesthesiologist said I had nice tits.
Okay, so that was also what you were talking about on keep calling him Davey, Drew's channel. I was there that night, and Drew. Okay, so Grace's father was on that same channel, and they were doing a live stream, right? And then you went up there and you were talking to him about how he treats his daughter, and then it came into that subject, and that's kind of how it got started. And he told you to go to Grace's live stream that night.
Yes. And I think Grace was really butthurt that I made her dad look bad, because I don't know if I don't watch their content, so I don't know how many times they've been put in their place or whatever, but Debbie, Grace and her dad were on a mission to make me look bad and to like get revenge for me calling Ben Thorpe out on a random StreamYard. And he started being like, oh, I'm your daddy. Oh, I'm going to spank you. Oh, you want me to spank you? It's like, you're actually just reinforcing the whole thing that people are accusing you of, like you're into your daughter. But yeah, I think Grace was really butthurt about that. And she, her dad gives her like missions, like and notes and things to say. And so initially all the things that she was saying to me were the exact same things her dad was saying. Like, oh, if I was in surgery, if a guy was in surgery and a nurse commented how big their, privates were, I would take that as a compliment. And then she was like, if I went to a doctor and the doctor said my tits were nice, I would think that was the greatest thing.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. So anyways, like, yeah, so she has zero experience. I doubt she's even had a women's exam at the doctor. I doubt her parents took good care of her. Even when I was telling my story and I was like, have you been blacked out? Have you been blacked out? And she's like, yeah. Once I was. Later on in other chats, she's like, other chat rooms where they were dissecting the video over and over again, calling me a liar and crazy. She's like, oh, actually, I've never been blacked out drunk. I don't know what it's like. So she's, it's like these people have no experience. They don't know what they're talking about. Like you and me, we lived a normal life in the early 2000s. Like, it was different. People were more naive. Like we didn't have the internet like we do now. Like people weren't exposed to prawn, videos on a daily like they are now. Like girls had this sense of like naivety, you know, like where we could go to a party, and especially if the guys were like, you know, cops, or if the guys were in the military, you know, you kind of felt like, oh, you know, I'm protected. Like, oh, nothing bad's gonna happen to me. These are good guys, you know. And it's like, it's every part of my story. It's like was attacked, and I was told I'm a liar, and it's like I don't know how anybody is supposed to defend themselves when somebody's just like, you're lying, lying, lying.
Okay, so let's get to so that's the thing is Aphrodite and I, we know each other from the metaverse, and you know some of the things that she does. She's a creator. You know, she's monetized, all that stuff. I don't really care for any of this stuff. I am here, like, we have our differences. Some of her beliefs are not my beliefs. I'm not here to attack anybody or say anybody's wrong. I do feel for Aphrodite as far as what like how you were attacked, because I heard your story from a different perspective. This is what I know of Aphrodite, and this is the reason why I like her so much, is there has been times where she has had the opportunity to take like for her own self. She could have taken the clout or whatever and made the story more than it was, or you know, she could have done a lot of things and lied, but she has never lied. She sticks to her facts, even if it's for the greater good of her channel. I've noticed she doesn't like to censor people, and she doesn't lie. And that's kind of why I'm here, because I seen you being attacked. Also because it happened to me. I was 21 years old. I was in California, and it was around the same time the Pirates of the Caribbean was getting ready to be filmed, and they had a ceremony, like an Oscar ceremony. So there was like a lot of parties, and I went to one, and I just won $71,000 in Las Vegas. So we were living that good life over there, but there was some real creepy people out there, like those LA guys and those producers. They're trying to get you drugged up and get you in the bed. So when it happened to me, and then my boyfriend's in the hotel room, and I made it to the hotel room, and he's attacking me like I did something wrong. I'm like, God, he was so pissed. I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. They bought me a drink. I drank it, you know? So I'm just saying, like, with your character and who you are, as far as it being attacked like it was, I gotta like defend this, because it's makes sense to me. I mean, it's happened to me twice actually. So yeah, it's not right. So
well, it's like I've been really hurt by, like, it's been super re-traumatizing, and I think the biggest traumatizing thing I think is, and it like kind of goes back to this goat thing, is like all the people that, you know, claim to be on my side, to support me, like they just did nothing. Like nobody said anything when they're making this whole show about me, you know, Aphrodite Rose Starfire public broadcast network, you know, and put dots on the face and all that, you know, just to talk shit about me and pick apart my character. And, you know, and there's these people in the chat, and they're just not even saying anything. It's like just crickets. Not like this is wrong, like Aphrodite's a good person, like don't do this, or like it's just nothing. The only thing somebody said in the chat was Kat said, I've been in their truck, they don't do drugs. That's the only thing that's been, and then you said supportive comments after the fact in the comment section, but I'm talking about like the live stream, you know, and there's like these other people who claim that they support me on my channel are giving hearts to like TVE. I mean, we could go through the video about how hypocritical it is about victimhood, how they're saying, what's the value in victimhood? What's the value? Like these women, they just feel like it's a badge of honor to be a victim. And then like literally in the next breath, they start talking about how my mommy never said I love you. And oh yeah, my childhood's more broken than your childhood. Oh yeah. And then, you know, people are giving hearts and little prayer hands. Like, okay, so I'm just a big liar. You can pick apart my rape story. Like I'm just trying to get attention. And and then these guys get little sympathy hands and stuff for them talking about their victimhood. You know, and
So
TDE was like, no
like
guys ever listen to men. What?
But damn, you did put your freaking story out there, you know, and then they picked it apart and their own narrative. So the other thing is, didn't I tell you, girl, don't go past those metaverse hood streets like after 10 o'clock? No, I'm kidding. Gosh, cyber hood for sure. You know that there's pogos out after 10 o'clock. So no,
you know, like they also wanted to like bring back like apparently Drew and Layla, you know, had forgiven me for believing Bokarak, and but now that I have, you know, now that Grace Thorpe tore me apart on my rape story, and like got it to seem like I was telling it out of order, even though I wasn't. Now Drew, so Drew's like, yeah, opportunity, jump on Aphrodite, more like, because basically I'm like their content creator for that whole like network of channel. Like all they do is talk about me.
I literally thought you guys were doing that on purpose. I didn't. No. That's the reason why I really didn't say. I was just like, oh, they're doing a bit. This is
no, it's a little bitch boy wants to do a whole show on me. He could have called me, sent me a text, messaged me, hey, I want to interview you. Hey, let's do a StreamYard. Hey. No, they just put up a thumbnail with dots on its face and say Aphrodite's spiraling, and just expect me to call in and like give them more content. Like, no. So yeah, and so Layla had forgiven me or whatever, and now since I'm being pulled apart, they're like, oh yeah, remember the time? Like this what TVE should, oh yeah, remember when you called me by that though? Huh?
What does he mean by that? Did you do that?
I don't even remember calling them trannies. I do remember saying that I didn't think they lived together, and I thought their relationship was fake, and that they didn't have any kids because they never filmed together. They're never like together in the same room. Layla like has like this dagger over her eye, Illuminati thumbnail stuff. So yeah, I did say that. I don't remember saying anything about them being trannies, but apparently I'm not forgiven anymore. Apparently, you know, now that like they want to pick apart my rape story, now I'm like this horrible person again to them, that I've done all these, you know, like not to mention like how many times they've called me crazy, how many times they've called me like unhinged, you know, like on
this
the daily.
Stuff is crazy because it keeps happening on the metaverse, and everybody keeps attacking each other. You know, there is good in everyone, and as far as like you saying what you thought, did you ever go on his channel and talk about it, or did he confront you about it? Because, you know, you said it on a live, what you thought. That's the only thing. Thought about the trans and, you know, all that other stuff.
I don't think I ever said I think Drew and Layla are trans. I'd love to see that. You know, prove it to me. You guys want to see proof? You know, proof of my 20-year-old rape.
No.
Like 20-year-old rape story. I don't want to do that. You know, how are we going to prove it? Like, and the other thing is like when you're being attacked, you know, like you don't think of all of the perfect things to say, like all like, oh yeah, about that, oh yeah. But it was like, you know, I was a pre-med major, you know, like I girls did know about rape kits and getting examined at the hospital when you report a rape, and it's like a whole other secondary traumatization where they have to examine you, and it's like an all-day thing. Yeah, so I knew that at 21. I just wanted it to go away. Plus, you know, I was going into the medical field. I didn't know if I was going to stay in San Diego. I didn't want to have a bunch of my potential future coworkers examining my body, nurses looking at me like as some rape victim, you know, and then I'm going to like apply for an internship in 2 months at this hospital, you know, like I didn't want to mix up. I just wanted it to like go away. Like I wanted to pretend like it never happened. It's like, what would be this is like, I know there's so many people that watch me, that watch them, that were in the chat, that know, like, what would be the fucking motive for me to make this up and talk about it? Like, it's like the downfalls outweigh the benefits, okay? Like the Me Too movement's over. Nobody cares, okay? So it's like, why aren't the people sticking up for me? Why aren't they saying like, why would she, like, why aren't they typing like, why would she make this up? Like, everybody's just like, yeah, throw shit at her face. Yeah, the stone hit her in the face. That's funny. Like, haha.
Aphrodite, the only thing is this is the metaverse. Nobody even really knows each other, and nobody's really your friend on these streets. People are here like lately a lot because it's for the drama. It's for the drama and to escape their own reality. So defending is like so hard to go back and forth and do that because somewhere you're going to go wrong. And, it's just that part with defending your
person was my friend. I thought,
and I know who you are.
Kat was my friend. I met her in person and listened to her rape stories and incest stories and gave her empathy and time and understanding and friendship. And I met her in person, and she can't defend me in the chat room. She texted me and said she's not going to support me until she knows all the facts. Like, okay, I sat here and listened to her talk about all of her trauma for days in my van, and I was nice to her and I helped her, and she can't even like say like, hey, don't talk about Africa. Like, she can't. She's just like sitting back eating the popcorn. She's like, yeah, I don't know where Dimitri is. Like, okay, like with friends like these, like she actually met me. Like,
yeah, she met you.
And we really helped her. Like, I really like. We were really kind.
I don't know, and I don't. You guys are you guys met each other in real life, so I'm sure that you guys need to just talk that out, Aphrodite. I think that maybe. Well, I know when you texted me last night, I was like, oh no, she didn't. No, she didn't go there, and I was like, I have to like talk to her about this because some of the stuff that you said was like what was in your head, and I'm like, I felt bad, So maybe you guys just need to talk it out because when you're in that moment of what you're going through right now, it's amplified, 10 times
but
more.
like people, that's what's wrong with this society, though. It's like the goat. My neighbor guy walking his dog saw the goat getting attacked. Mm-hmm. And he didn't do anything. I had to be the one to go up and do something and yell the dog to stop attacking the goat. And then afterward, the neighbor guy's like, oh yeah, I tried to stop it too, but the dog didn't listen to me. It's like, no, you didn't. You didn't do anything. I watched you do nothing. I didn't say this to him. But it's like these people, like, you see bad things happen and you don't do anything. You just stand there and eat your popcorn, like, oh, maybe somebody else will do it. Oh, it's on TV. Oh, like, I'm a real person. Like, this is my real life. This really happened to me. This is my story. This is my truth. You can't come and pick it apart and say, oh, this didn't happen. Oh, you did this because of this. Oh, that guy didn't actually rape you. Like, in what world is that okay? And why is everybody just sitting back and thinking it's okay?
I don't think anybody thinks it's okay. I think that everybody's going to see all the perspectives because you put out the story, Aphrodite. And then the other part I want to say is when you said, I guess, like, why didn't you call the police after you got raped, right? I got beat up by this guy. I was looking for a place to live, and I took a picture of a for rent sign. I was in flip-flops, short shorts, and a shirt, and I was in my car. I had a Ford 500. The dome light stays on for 3 minutes, and I have a code, so I always put my keys underneath my seat. Some guy, this tall black guy, he came up behind me, grabbed my shoulder, and I already knew. I was like, something's bad's gonna happen because I had my TV, my jewelry, everything in my back seat. He wanted in my car, and I fought him back. And look at, like, this is crazy. Like, I don't know if you can see it very well, but this guy beat the hell out of me.
Wow.
I mean, he headbutted me 3 times.
Oh my gosh, Raw.
And then that's the black eye afterwards. Hold on. And that's my whole face is bruised up. Like, okay, so when this happened to me, I was like, what do I do?
Out of your body?
Huh?
Did you think you were gonna die when it was happening?
No, I didn't care. I was fighting that motherfucker. I wanted, like, I scraped him and everything. But then he got me and grabbed me by my hair and started headbutting me. And I wouldn't let him in my car. I didn't let him in my car. And then I got in my car and I'm like, oh my God, like, what just happened to me? And I sat there like what do I do? You know?
Yeah, because it's like the adrenaline like surges and then it's like throbbing and you just like, it's like you're in shock and you like it's like it's done, but then it's like you're in this like it's like when a bomb goes off and there's like that like high pitched noise, you know, in movies.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you do?
Right in my face. So then I'm like already going through this crazy experience that I'm not going to talk about on the internet, but I had some people like following me and they would go to restaurants and they would say, what is she wearing? What does she talk about? What are her mannerisms? They went to my mom's house. They went to my best friend's house. It was crazy. So I was trying to get away from these people and they wouldn't leave me alone. But that all got figured out. But I was going through that and that's the reason why I had to move. And so then I'm like going through that. And then, so I just went to a good friend's house and he lived very close to where it happened by the Miami International Airport. And I went to his house and then I just looked at him and he like cried, like he like, oh my God, like what the fuck just happened to you now? Like what happened? And I went in and I told him, and he's like, you need to get some rest. He's like, we got to call the cops. I was like, no, don't call the cops. He's like, no, we're calling the cops. I know the sheriff, because that's what he is. He owns a print shop. So he does all the Republican parties, like printouts for all their, caucuses and all that stuff. So he knew the right person to just come to the house. They did a DNA test in my nails from, whatever. And I did a report. Well, the guy, I guess like a week later, beat up a pregnant woman and killed her. Yeah, she died. And I didn't call the police. And everybody's like, duh, if that really happened to you, then why didn't you call the police right when it happened? Like, because I just couldn't do it. I didn't even think to call the police, really. I was just so shocked, So it happens. So
most people don't even realize like most of like the cop, like it's all tied together. So if you do go, then you get this like record, like this, this label, and
I think that you just got labeled because you put out your story, though. You know what I mean? You actually talked about it. And I think that's where the guys are talking about feminism and all this stuff, the feminist movement, because you're actually talking about shit that happened. So, that's why. I think that's why. Because this story that I just said was hard for me to even say it. But it is true.
And I thank you so much from my heart that you are supporting me and sharing your story, because I feel like one of the biggest things that's holding us back is that other women don't support other women. Like when we do come out and say our truth, like women like to try to get the props from guys and throw rocks and try to like, oh well you were the skank, so you deserved it. And when I was raped, I was really beaten and I was really, I wasn't drunk like you first. So you are the slut and you are taking.
When I was 21 years old, I was naive. Like, hello, I was out there. I was shoving drinks down guys' throats. How about that? I was doing that. I was literally doing that.
Exactly. And the thing is like at a bar when you're 21 and you're with a guy that's 21, you maybe if he has like a little bit of daddy's money or something, he'll buy you 2 drinks. But back then, like, I didn't even have to buy drinks. Like the bartenders actually knew me and gave
they'll give you free drinks.
But it was highly unusual for a guy that was over 10 years older than me to buy me like 10 shots. Like, of Jaeger. Like, it was like he wanted me at the bar, like, another round, another round, another round. It wasn't like, oh, let's buy you a drink and we'll sip over here and talk. It was like, it was a thing. It was an MO. And then once he got me drunk enough, he got me to his apartment where he gave me the orange juice with GHB or whatever in it. And it tasted bad. It tasted bad. I drank it. I didn't want to drink it. And he made me drink the rest.
And you're already drunk. So
I was already drunk. You know, but they want to say, oh, he was being nice to you. Oh, he was trying to sober you up. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And then I was so like, I was like wobbly. He stood behind me while I was at the sink brushing my teeth. And he was like helping me. He was like standing, watching me brush my teeth. You know, and I thought he was being like, coupley. Like,
yeah.
he's kind of being like a husband or
That's
something.
what a 20-year-old would think, you know, with a
right.
10 years old.
Like, yeah, and it was like right as I rinsed my mouth out, that's when I black out. And I woke up to him raping me. Like, I was blacked out, and he was on top of me, inside of me, raping me. And then I blacked out again. And then I woke up again, and it was like black lights were on in the room. And he was at the other side of the room, and he threw a towel at me, and I couldn't move. I was paralyzed.
I would kill that guy.
I couldn't move, and the towel hit me in the face because I couldn't catch it. I was paralyzed. That's how I know I was drugged, okay? Like, and then he threw this thing at my face, and he said, clean it up. And then I blacked out again because the towel hit me in the face, like, hard. And and then I woke up again, and it was morning time, and his head was underneath the sheet, and I was like coming to, and I start to feel this pain, and I start to feel this like vibration, and I see the sheet, and I could see his head's underneath the sheet, and I start to feel this really, really bad pain, and I'm like, and then I start to realize like he's like eating me out down there, like what the fuck? So I start punching his head, and I'm like, no. And he goes up harder in me. And it's like these guys are like, who would want to give a girl cunnilingus? Like, why would they want to give a girl pleasure? Like, are you serious? Like,
there's people saying stuff like blacked out but remembers every detail. Those are probably the details that you remember, right?
Those are the only details I remember. I don't know what he was doing while I was blacked out.
And you know what? Like when you go through a traumatizing experience, like you kind of compartmentalize like memories that happened, and then you kind of just configure a story that you can remember. And so that's her story. Yeah. And then sometimes it's too hard to relive. Even like I can see it in your face. So you know, like be a little bit more. Gosh.
Well, right. It's too, it's like they're trying to spin it like this is like my brand, like this is my badge of honor. It's like I made a video about it a year or two ago. I rarely talk about it. I rarely bring it up. It's not like oh yeah, remember when I was raped? Oh yeah, remember this? Like I have so many other things that make me who I am, as do you. Like, and for most women, they just want to forget it ever happened. And like, if people don't understand what they see in the media about rape stories and stuff, it's all fucking fake. It's all to promote this like, oh, she's a liar, blah, blah. Because most rape, you never hear about it because it's so shameful. You feel so shitty about yourself and then when you do see women that do talk about it, you're like, I don't want to be like Aphrodite. Fuck that. Like,
no way. Actually, I don't know why you do. Like, we're two totally different people, but I do respect some of the stuff that you do because you have a lot of guts that I could not do half of the stuff that you do and get just the backlash. But I mean, you're a very entertaining person, and I don't know. You should start like a woman channel or like some kind of feminist channel or something like that, just so women can talk on your channel, you know. Maybe I don't know if that's even a good idea because shit's like you know, I don't know, you know, with that whole situation. People don't really want to hear out some of the stuff that you talk about. You say some pretty deep stuff.
Yeah. it's just kind of weird because I thought like I do realize like I'm entertainment for most people. Like, it's
You are.
like, and definitely for freaking Drew and that whole crew, they think my life is some kind of soap opera. They have like hashtag free Dimitri now. Like, oh, we want to talk to Dimitri.
I
Like,
thought you guys were friends. I mean, no, I like Drew's channel, whatever. I like a lot of different channels that I'm not supposed to like. But whatever. Like, you got to be careful with these metaverse streets. I'm telling you.
no, like, I like to watch the channel too. Like, I'm not blaming anybody for wanting to watch the channel. It's just like I wish somebody, like, you can still watch the channel and say, type something like, "Hey, that's f up." Like, "Hey, it's not cool to, pick apart somebody's rape story from 20 years ago." Like there could be some kind of like good person defense. It's just like, I guess everybody thinks that I deserve it and that I'm some kind of whore, and
I don't
if
think
you,
I just don't think that you should have went on that chick's channel and talked about, especially with Grace. Like,
yeah,
people
well,
make mistakes. I mean, I know that when I seen that Drew put that video and he tagged you in it, I was waiting for you to show up on the live stream. I was like, after he's gonna show up, I know she is, and you didn't. But I thought it was a bit. I thought you guys were like seriously cool, and I don't know. I didn't know.
We were cool. We were cool. Like, we had settled the beef, but like, seriously, he saw some kind of like little pop in statistics when Grace jumped on me, and so he thought that he can jump on that and like take it to the next level, because I guess there's like a lot of MGTOW, Andrew Tate type of people. So he thought like, oh, I'll use Aphrodite as this catalyst to like show these manipulative women that are using their victim stories to get clout. But it's like, yeah, I thought we were cool. That's just he I guess we weren't, he's not cool with me. I guess not. Like,
there's a lot of that going on in the metaverse now. I think this StreamYard shit is like demonic in a way. It's like Discord, like I said in the chat on the stream before. It's just like Discord, but it's live and everybody can watch you and create
the other
problems. Yeah. I remember James Munder's Discord. There was so many people in it. The first Discord channel he had. And James wouldn't deal with any of the drama. So people started writing me and texting me, and I'd tell him, and he's like, just deal with it. He's like, I don't even care about any of those fucking problems that these people are having in my Discord, and it's the truth. Like, what can you do? You just got to be careful about what you say, what you do, because you're going to be picked apart, unfortunately. I think women should stick together more. I think that we don't need to keep attacking each other either to make content just because of this whole StreamYard situation. And I am sorry that happened, like, just because it is a victim story. Also, the other thing is when you got called a narcissist, okay?
I know, yeah.
I tried to, I wanted to, put it in my head, okay, let's see, is she a narcissist? And no, she's really not a narcissist, because she gave up her career, she gave up her apartment, she didn't get jobs, she didn't want to wear a mask, and she lives in a freaking bread truck. She could have it all. She had a good supportive family, all that stuff. So narcissist wants it all, and they're big time. And you could shave their freaking egos with a butter knife. It's so thin. So, yeah, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, like the literal last video, I'm like crying about how old people are lonely and you should talk to old people, and then he's calling me a narcissist. Like, I don't think narcissists talk like I obviously display a lot of empathy. It's just like it's like, people are, oh, don't address these haters, they're gonna hate, blah blah blah. But it's like, also, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So it's like, if I have so many people calling me a liar over and over again. I have people like Kat, who's like, oh, well, maybe it's true. Oh, maybe it's true, because you hear it enough. oh, Aphrodite's lying, Aphrodite's lying, Aphrodite, oh, maybe they have something. Yeah. Yeah, I did meet her in person, but yeah, maybe she is lying about this whole rape story.
Let me see what this one says. Show.
And then they said, oh, the point that you just pick sides and stories based on convenience, like your colon surgery. Yeah.
Sherelle says, you don't know anyone in the metaverse. In one breath, now she's giving us a universal truth about Aphrodite, like she knows her personally. Give me a break. I really don't know you that well. We talk about James, and we see each other in chats, but we don't really like talk every day. But when I was going through that whole situation with James, that's when I seen a lot of her character. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a godness, no. She is goodness. Godness isn't a narcissist. Okay, well, I mean, like I said, I don't see it, and she hasn't lied. But I guess like narcissism, everybody has a little bit of narcissism in them. Like everybody. Yeah. Isn't it like kind of narcissistic for me to even be up here talking about this?
I don't think everybody has narcissistic. No, like this is my channel. This is about me. You know, like if people are upset because I talk about me on my channel, like, but I went into the medical profession to help people. If I was a narcissist, I probably would have been a doctor and made a bunch of money, you know, and get the clout and the honor and the prestige. But no, you know, my brothers who died, Matthew, Kurt, he grew up in a wheelchair. He is 18 months younger than me, and his birthday's tomorrow. So I'll repost the video about my brother tomorrow. You guys can all call me liars about my brother having a disability and being in a wheelchair and me having to grow up taking care of my brother.
For people to hate on you, though, bruh. Like, nobody, you know, like when you say that stuff, like, oh, just come and hate. I can't believe this is coming from you, though. Honestly, like, I see you defending yourself. This must have really upset you when you seen the videos and all the hate, I guess. But that's not like you, Aphrodite.
Well, yeah, because I feel like even the Grace video where she's trying to, like, she's screaming at me, I still look at it and see myself telling it as credible. Like, even though, like, I'm, like, flustered and emotional and I'm, like, I told kind of, like, the biggest details first, you know, I still think I sound credible because I've heard a lot of women's rape stories and I've been in the medical field and people talk about what's happened to them and injuries and scars, and I still found myself as credible looking back at myself. But people look at that and they're like, oh, look, her story's out of, or, oh, wait, which one was it? Did this happen? It's like,
it's crazy.
Have you been through trauma before? Have you been, like, traumatized? Like, have you heard somebody tell their story before? Like, but I guess some people, they can just see that and then, oh, she's lying. Oh, and it's like other people are saying I'm lying, so it's like they want to jump on the bandwagon and say I'm lying too, to be part of the crowd.
Okay, like, don't let this be your, you know, like, who you are.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not. You know, and like, I don't know why I had colon. Like, I don't know why I had extra long sigmoid colon.
Are you asking for sympathy? Is that what you're asking for? Are you asking for sympathy? Are you asking for sympathy from other people?
No.
Right now?
No.
Like, you just want your story told, right? I can't give, like, I mean, I think people should be nicer, but, you know, when you're getting attacked and you're on the metaverse and people are on other channels, you can't, like, really expect them to do anything. You know, that's what sucks. It's just, I see it everywhere. But right now, I think you just want to get your story out. And I'm sure other women have been through other similar situations, especially with our age group, you know.
Yeah. And so, but I actually had, after that, I had surgery on my vagina before I had surgery on my colon. It was called a LEAP procedure. They don't really do them much anymore. But it's called a cervical cone biopsy when you had an abnormal pap smear. And I had to have that right after it was like a year after I was raped. So I don't know if that was connected. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. I'll be right back.
If you guys think I called Drew and Layla trannies, why don't you prove it? Because I didn't. Prove it. I'm trying to highlight your comments, guys, but the phone doesn't really respond very well to my finger. Yeah, I'm not going to scour through your landfill of content to find it. I know you said it. Okay. How many times did you guys call me a tranny? How many times did you guys call me crazy? Like, you want to go back and say I called Drew, like, I thought I was forgiven. Now you want to go back and itemize things? Like, what a pathetic loser. You called them trannies 3 years ago. I know it. Okay, you guys make content about me on the daily, calling me crazy. So what's your point? What's your freaking point? But there is something to be said for people that watch something really bad go on and they don't do anything. You know, you guys can all make your own judgments about what's bad and what's good. But if you are watching something bad happen and you don't do anything, then you're part of it. I mean, there's extenuating circumstances. Like one time in San Francisco, it was like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I was walking back to my car in the Haight, and there was 3 men underneath a liquor store entrance. It was already closed, but the light was on, and one guy had a French bulldog. And I was like, I already knew the story. It was like a boyfriend took his girlfriend's dog out for a walk and a smoke. But the dog, the French bulldog, had like a it was like a fancy, it had like a shirt on and like a special harness. And the guy had he had the dog on the leash, and the 2 other men were standing there. I think they had like drinks in paper bags. And the one guy holding the dog on the leash starts fucking kicking the French bulldog. He starts I was like, I couldn't believe my eyes. He starts kicking the bulldog while it's on the leash. And I almost screamed. I was like right across the street. And the dog is trying, it's like trying to hold its stance and like trying to defend itself, but it's on the fucking leash. The guy's kicking it, and the other guys standing there are laughing. They're like, oh, and the guy kicks it, and the dog like goes, trying to defend itself, and the guys laugh. Like it was like a ball on a practice punter thing. And I was like, I almost said, stop! Like I almost said, like, don't leave the dog alone. But I was like, 2 in the morning, I'm by myself, San Francisco. They're drinking. The three men. Like that was the one time I zipped it up. I didn't say anything, and I kept walking to my car. But that fucking sticks with me. Like how tortured that fucking dog is. But if you guys are seeing things that is happening in your life and in around you, if you see people that you could quote care about getting victimized or abused, and you're just like standing back and not even saying anything, like I said, it's one thing if like saying anything is more dangerous than doing something. But this is like the coward shit. This is like the bravery stuff. It's like everybody's so cowardly to speak up. for the person that's doing the right thing. It's easier to be part of the crowd throwing rocks at the whore, you know? Even though you know you're a whore yourself, we'll just toss those stones because it's not me. They're not picking at me. At least it's not me. Like, yeah, you may be not throwing the stones, but you're standing with the crowd. And like, we can all watch entertainment and stuff, but like, is everybody here just a voyeur? Like, is it all just consuming my life? Like, you know, it is an energy exchange. So like, I believe in free speech and stuff, but it's like, I do see what goes on in other people's chat rooms. So it's like, I know how people are, how people stand. But
Are you alright?
she can't remember how much she lies. It burns her memory. Defense mechanism.
Well, I don't know about all those stories that you say all over the internet. I'm just speaking from what I've seen, and
what stories all over the internet?
Well, whatever that these people are saying, I really don't know about all that stuff. Oh, she said this and she said that. I really don't ever get involved with that kind of crap. But
somebody said, not where they said, why did you go into the medical field after that experience at 17? Well, I had been intricately entwined with the medical field through my brother having muscular dystrophy and being in a wheelchair. So I saw him seeing the specialist at the university, and they had absolutely no bedside manner. They made my mom scared. They made my brother scared. And I knew that I wanted to help people that were sick and be able to talk to people and help them and not make them scared and like do better. That's why. And that experience that happened to me at 17 also like promoted me like being really into medical ethics and how to talk to patients and how to be a custodian of somebody that's under anesthesia. Like it's a whole like privilege to be. It's like you're like a go between the living and the dead. Like it's like an honor to be a chaperone for somebody that gives you their life in your hands, and they say, I trust you. I trust you to take care of me, to fix me while I'm asleep, when I leave my body, and when I wake up, I trust you that I'm going to be better. And that's like a privilege, and so many people abuse that privilege, and I made it like that thing that happened to me at 17 was fuel for me to even be more of an advocate for my patients and to make sure that I am a voice. Like I would tell doctors in the operating rooms that please don't talk about my patient like that. Like I speak up. Nobody wants to fucking speak up. Like, and then they want to be like, oh, the world's so shitty. Oh, everything's so fucked. It's like, well, are you speaking up? Are you even saying no? Are you even like standing up for your neighbor who's getting beaten up? Or are you just like eating popcorn while they're getting, oh, that's fucked up. Oh, yo.
I have to go to the airport. I just got a phone call. So, yeah.
Well, thanks for joining me in this chat.
Oh, Aphrodite. Well, at least you got to
friend, Sorrel.
I gotta say, like, it is kind of hard to talk about it. I can't believe you did that. And you say a lot of things. You say a lot of truths of what you've been through. And I don't know why you would lie about your rape story. So I just wanted to show you some love, at least.
Well, thank you. And thank you for sharing your story and supporting me. And because it's happened to, like, I mean, I'm sure you've had friends that are our age, that it's happened to. It's happened to, like, a lot of women.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
And, people that, grow up with their incest dad and men that had their mothers never tell them they love you and your dad's a child molester. I don't give a fuck about your opinion, Drew.
What the hell? That's a lot of
Drew's
stuff
dad's
right
a
there.
child molester. Drew's dad's a child molester. And Drew's
What?
mother never told him I love you, ever. And Drew doesn't speak with his sister. So, yeah, Drew has a great family life. Excellent.
I'm going.
How could I hate women? How could I hate women? My mother never told me I love you. Oh, yeah. Okay, my dad's a child molester. Okay, your mom slept with a child molester and made you, Drew. Great.
Oh, God.
Well, Cheryl's super awesome for coming on here and telling her story to support me, because she didn't have to tell that story online. She could have just kept it to herself and never made it public. So I really appreciate that, Cheryl. You need to first humble yourself. Think that open rebuke is better than secret love. Okay. Kat thinks she's like an expert on relationships. Yeah. Yeah, Dimitri really helped you, Kat. He really helped you a lot. Quantum Epic says, and some people don't want to get in the middle or feel like they're going to need to take sides, especially when you like both channels. Yeah, but if you put hearts like for TBE, like that's showing sides. Like when he's saying he had a broken child and you give him a heart, that's kind of taking sides. And then you say nothing when they're bashing me. I feel like that's taking sides. Now Kat's trying to like give intel about Dimitri. Yeah, Dimitri, who fixed your van multiple times. Like, you rent a boyfriend, like, he helped you out only because I'm your friend. Like, do you think Dimitri would have helped you if it wasn't for me? But he's his own man. Like, nobody's, he has money now. He sold his bike. So, people, Dimitri likes me. He wants to be around me. So, you think he's like a prisoner or something? Kat's like trying to like have some kind of celebrity moment or something. Yeah. Not worthy said, friends are not obligated to support abuse just because they are friends. Thank God Kat has integrity. Yeah. Except Kat's like actual brand is her abuse. Like, Kat nonstop talks about her abuse every day. And I listened to her and I was her friend. And the time I post my abuse story and people call me a liar, she's sitting eating popcorn and saying she needs to know the facts. Okay, Kat. Yeah, that's not friendship. That's not friendship. I didn't say, well, Kat, I think you're a liar. I need to know the facts when you were telling me about your incest and your multiple rape stories. And you like wooing trannies and stuff. Like, so yeah, when people are pulling me apart and calling me a liar, like, I kind of expected Kat to be like, hey, Aphrodite's cool. Like, hey, but all she said is, I was in the truck. They don't do drugs. So thanks for that, Kat. Thanks for that. At least Kat verifies I don't do drugs. So thanks for that, Kat. Shannon 222 says, I was hurt and I told everybody and nobody believed me. Maybe it's better to keep your mouth shut. Well, that's what a lot of people do and think. That's what a lot of people do and think is they keep their mouth shut. They hope it's going to go away. And it's like, I don't know how many stories of men being molested by priests, people that go back 20 years and talk about their story. You know, like it takes a long time to process these things, like when they happen to you. And then finally you realize like the gravity of the trauma, like what actually happened, like you allow yourself to accept it. Like it's like over and over people like have long periods of time between when time it happened and them like this, like realizing the brevity of what the occurrence was, because you try to compartmentalize it and try to like, oh, you know, I don't want to be a rape victim, blah blah blah. But I'm the one that's being like picked apart, like, oh, like why are you talking about it now? La la la. Why didn't you go to the police? Oh, I don't have the facts, so I'm not going to believe you until I have the facts. How are you going to get the facts? What facts? What facts, Kat? What facts do you need to know? You can go on Google Maps and talk. You can go Tavern Saloon in San Diego. Across the street from is Big Bertha's. So you want to check the years. You want to check if I went to the school. You want to see if I really had my brain scanned. Like what facts? You want to see if I really had colon surgery. Like what facts would it be for you to believe your friend about her rape story 20 years ago? But you're all about like going in the chat room, putting hearts, and like, hey guys, like, oh, we're talking about Aphrodite getting raped. Oh, cool. Woo. Yeah. Stop pegging Dimitri. I've never pegged anybody, nor do I want to peg anybody. Thanks, Shannon. Yeah, most people it's weird because 10, 20 years ago when a woman would tell her story, like it would be uncalled for anybody to be like, you're a liar, you were drunk, like newsflash, probably like 99% of women that are raped are probably drugged or drunk or under the influence of something. Because that's when your defenses are down. Like people that are rapists prey on people that are vulnerable. Like it's not that hard to fathom. Layla says, I tried to be nice to Aphrodite, even after she encouraged a creep online to look up the names and locations of my kids. No, I didn't. She's no big. Layla, what changed? Because a week ago you were cool with me. So now that people are picking apart my rape story, you're not cool with me anymore? Because it wasn't that long ago you were cool with me. And I never encouraged Bokerex to do anything. He came and talked to me and tried to recruit me. I'm just reading your guys' comments. Top Feed Coco says, it's like eavesdropping on a smoke break behind 7-Eleven. Shannon says, ignoring the trolls is best. Pretend they don't exist, and they won't. You know, it's funny too. I almost made a post. The dream job that I left that I didn't. So I got hired at my dream job doing cardiovascular surgery in Walnut Creek, Bay Area, California. And this is when I was still working in pain management. I got in my next position, and I was letting it slide. I wasn't answering the phone calls to like get my credentials like completed. And I was just, it was like this big block. I just couldn't, it was like my dream job, like the perfect, it was like a lot of money, like where I wanted to be. And this is when I had my spiritual awakening, and I called into my pain management. I was like, I can't come in, and I quit like that morning. And then I just never followed up with the new job. And then she finally called and it's like, we're going to have to go with another candidate for a non-response. And it's like, and then that's when I realized I was Aphrodite and I need to go to the beach and move back to San Diego, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, this job is calling me again. They're like sending me multiple emails like every day. The recruiter, she's like, the last email she sent, she's like, I know you're getting barraged by emails from recruiters right now, but you're the perfect candidate. Would it trouble you too much just to book a 15-minute interview? Like, this is the job that I like blew off, and they're knocking down my door right now. That's how low I think the providers are. The high level providers that know how to do surgery. And that's the other thing. At least somebody smart called in to the stupid Aphrodite Rose Starfire broadcast, and they're like, "Oh, she's calling herself a surgeon." And somebody smart is like, "Whoa, what kind of surgeon? Is she doing like physician assistant surgeries, like mole removals and stuff all day, or you know, is she doing brain surgery?" Like, yes, exactly, exactly. Does a brain surgeon do heart surgery? Does a surgeon that take out gallbladders do nose jobs? Does a surgeon that does surgery on heart bypass surgeries take off moles? No. When you're a doctor surgeon, you're highly specified into one compartment. A hand surgeon will not do a brain surgery. Are they both surgeons? Do they both perform surgery? Yes. A person that performs surgery is by default a surgeon. Okay, so if you do a procedure and you do the operating note, like say a below knee amputation where you cut off the leg, and you have a physician assistant like myself do the whole surgery from start to finish. And then I sit down and I dictate the operating note. I say, today it is June 6, 2023. This is blah, 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 PAC, dictating an operating note for a left below knee amputation for patient Patterson, first name Sam, date of birth, blah, 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 blah. Primary surgeon, Aphrodite Rose Starfire, PAC. Now, does it say MD on there? Does it say Aphrodite went to medical school and she's pretending to be a surgeon? No. It says primary surgeon, colon, Aphrodite Rose Starfire, comma, MPA, which is a master's degree, physician assistant studies, comma, PAC, which is physician assistant certified, because I'm nationally board certified. And yes, that makes me a surgeon for that below knee amputation. I was primary surgeon. Now, does that make me a medical doctor because I put primary surgeon in my name, even though it says physician assistant? No, it doesn't make me a medical doctor. No. Am I lying? Am I exaggerating that I'm a surgeon because I did a surgery? No. Am I lying that I'm a medical doctor? No. It's like these pathetic weasels trying to pick apart my words to diminish what I do. Like, you can't take that away from me. You can't You can't pick apart my story and make it something that it's not. Like, if you're offended that I can do a whole baloney amputation in 15 minutes flat, that's your problem. But it's the truth. I can cut off somebody's leg in 15 minutes and they'll survive and they'll do great. Like, but most of the procedures I did were percutaneous. The procedures where I was primary surgeon were ultrasound guided percutaneous tunnel catheter placement. So I would use a needle to get into the jugular vein and then use fluoroscopy and x-ray to guide a wire down into the heart. And then over the wire, I thread a catheter, and then the catheter goes inside the neck vein, and then you pull out the wire. And then the other end of the catheter, you make a hole in the chest and you thread it out. So it's like a catheter that goes into the subclavian vein or the internal jugular vein, but the rest of the catheter is coming out through the chest, so you prevent infection. So I would do those procedures all on my own, like, and on the note, which is the operating note, because it's a surgery and the patient was under general anesthesia, I was listed as primary surgeon. Aphrodite, TFC Judge says, Aphrodite, what about Cardi B drugging and raping and robbing men? Yeah, that happens too. I think usually the way that hookers drug men is through scopolamine, where it's like this dust that they blow in your face. But yeah, they use GHB too. Yeah, for sure. Shannon says, I am very proud that she is talking about this because I still have some dark trauma I need to work on in this area. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad I can be of some assistance to you. Yeah, like I kind of had thought that like I never could be raped. Like I never thought that it could happen to me because you grow up watching like Lifetime movies, like, oh, don't do this, oh, I have to learn to do that, like, and to wrap my mind around the fact that I was raped and like the extent of what he did to me while I was comatose, like paralyzed, drugged, like out of my body in a coma, like it's beyond blacked out. He drugged me. But it took me years to even like say that I was raped, like even like verbalize it to like I would just refer to it as the really bad thing that happened to me. The really bad thing that happened to me. But yeah, because when you label yourself like, the rape victim, like yeah, back then I had all this guilt. Like, oh, how could I have let this happen to me? Like, how could I have been so stupid? How could I have been so stupid? Yeah. Well, that's the way trauma is packaged. Like, usually people don't get celebrated when they get raped. Like, it's usually like, don't talk about it. We don't want to hear about it. And even later, I actually had some anger that I had to work through because I was angry that my mom didn't come down to visit me when it happened. Because I was all by myself. I mean, all I had was my roommate, my girlfriend roommate. But yeah, I basically had to go through it all on my own, process it all on my own, and I just tried to forget it like it happened, and I just focused on my studies and like studying for the MCAT, and yeah. Layla says she has screenshots. Okay. Shannon says, if you do not learn to laugh at the things that hurt you throughout life, then you're fucked. I say laughter is the best medicine. Yeah. Teddy says Aphrodite uses victimhood as a bargaining tool. Real victims don't do that. What bargaining? How am I bargaining? Sideways says Bernie's jars hold some kind of water. Sometimes when I click on the things to highlight, it doesn't. Shannon says, I am being triggered by you heartless motherfuckers, so I'm going to go. But I'm glad she talked about the story. I will work on my... Thanks, Shannon. Thanks for being here. Philippa Earth says, yes, Chalk is clout chasing. What's wrong with your brain? Get Chalked Up says, welcome to the Loud Woman Victim Show. Yeah, the victim show where you guys did Aphrodite Rose Starfire and then started talking about your broken childhood. Talk about victimhood. Like, what's the value in victimhood? Oh yeah, my mom never said she loved me. Oh, my sister won't talk to me. Oh, TVE, oh yeah, my life is so shitty. Oh yeah, my family sucks. Nobody ever believes men. Nobody, like, all you guys do is circle jerk each other and talk about your, like, you know, whiny, I don't even know. Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, you believe in. Oh, what God do you believe in? Oh, like it's like the same conversation over and over again. That's why you need me to like make content for you, like so you can like piss on my face, like ha ha ha. Look at her. She's a narcissist victim injury. Like, what is even that? Like, what is that? I don't think you guys know what a narcissist is. A narcissist probably wouldn't take their mother's ashes. A narcissist probably would say, like, I don't need that stupid bitch's ashes. What would I use with them? I don't know, maybe to like mourn your mother who never said she loves you. Maybe you could spread your mother's ashes in a place that means something to you. I don't know. Maybe you're a narcissist and you don't understand love, and that's why you didn't take your mother's ashes, and that's why your sister hates you. I don't know. People really want Kat to talk about Dimitri. Give them the details. A narc would never film themselves helping a turtle cross the street. Okay, I make friendly content about helping animals, and that makes me a narcissist because I help animals and I want to promote helping animals. Yeah, that's a little bit of a twisted delusional logic. Kat says, and then you treat me like you did, so I'm not trusting you. How did I treat you, Kat? I never said you lied. Now I know you lie. Okay. Kat, you were in the chat room dropping hearts and stuff while they're talking crap about me. You never defended me. You just said I don't do drugs. So yeah, if you don't think if you think I'm lying, if the time that we helped you out and like helped fix your car and spent time with you and I listened about your incest tranny stories, and if that means nothing to you, fine. Like, okay. Kat says, I'm going to be 72 next month, and she is abusing me, saying I said things I didn't say. Okay, so now I'm abusing. Now Kat's accusing me of elder abuse. And what am I accusing you of saying that you didn't say? I'm at a loss here. Yeah, that's funny too on there. Get chopped up says it doesn't take 10 to 20 years to figure out you're a victim. Okay. Like literally in your little Aphrodite Rose Starfire stream, you're like, oh, she's not like one of those guys who, something bad happens to them and they process it and later in life, and then finally they, it makes them a better person and they use it for good. Like you kind of just narrated what I'm doing. Like I processed it and I'm doing it for good. Like telling my story is sharing it for other women to know they're not alone. Like if you are drunk and somebody drugs you and rapes you, that's still rape. Just because you were drunk doesn't mean it's not rape. You guys are like demented with the consent thing. These are freaking necrophiliacs. They like, oh, there's a comatose drunk girl. Let's go screw it. Oh, no, she deserved it. Oh, let's start taking off her shirt and touching her boobs and stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah, she's a slut, so she's asking for it. Like you're such a freaking necrophiliac. Like you think that's normal? You think it's normal for like a guy to like feel on a girl's body that she's out of it, like and not participating? A lot of people call themselves Christ, actually. Um, yeah. Teddy Bear says I have bugged out amphetamine eyebrows. Okay. Um, Get chalked up says, but you left the medical field, so you don't have to help people anymore. Yeah, and he's spreading the lies that I left because of the mask. Yeah, Drew, get your facts straight. And I don't know if you guys forgot about the whole thing about like why I can't really practice. Like to pick and choose about what fits your narrative. To like, it makes me some crazy, attention seeker. It's like, no, actually, I have a really colorful life and lots of shit has happened to me. Like I used to say this when I was like 25 and I was in grad school and I'm telling my fellow students about my life and they thought like what the fuck, like so much shit happened to you. Like yeah, I've lived like 9 lives in one life. I've had a bunch of surgery. I've been in the hospital for 7 days. Like my brother died. He was in a wheelchair. Like MK Ultra. My parents divorced. My dad got custody. Like I was trying to bond with Grace initially about that, but my dad raised me, and I saw my mom every other weekend. But um, she's a heartless. I mean, it is something to be said. She's born with a hole in her heart. You know. Sideways Stewie says, Kat, if you're 72, this midlife crisis theater might not be the best way to spend time. Kat says, I thought she was my friend, but I'm seeing the real person emerge. Kat, you texted me that you're not going to support me until you know all the facts. So I don't know what you expect. I don't know what kind of friend doesn't, you know, I'm not going to go around telling everybody that I think you're a liar about your incest and rape stories because I wasn't there. I don't know the facts. Like friends usually just believe their friends when they tell them, like, you know, I think I did try to tell you my rape story, but you were more interested in telling me your stories when we were together. So yeah, I thought you were my friend too, Kat. That's what I'm saying, is that you didn't stick up for me, you know, and you wanna wear your rapes as a badge of honor. And like you, when I tell my story, it's like, well, I don't have all the facts, so I don't know. I'm not gonna support her. Okay, yeah, let's like perpetuate the problem, Kat. Let's just perpetuate the problem. You could just say sorry. You could just say, yeah, sorry, Aphrodite. I should have said something. I was raped too. I should have said, you could even said that, Kat. I was raped too in the chat, but you didn't. You just kind of jumped on the bandwagon about Dimitri. And I mean, I'll give you the fact, at least you said that I don't do drugs. Thank you. Um, I mean, thanks for that, honestly. But you know, if you want to like question my validity online here, well, that's not friend. That's not friend. Drew says, you lose credibility when you say a guy saying nice tits is a sexual assault. Well, it wasn't a guy. It was an anesthesiologist who had just put me asleep, had given me drugs through an IV to put me asleep, given me paralytics to stop my breathing. So I had a breathing tube in me. It wasn't just a guy on the street. Yeah, if a guy on the street or at a bar or whatever catcalled me and said nice tits, I would not count that as a sexual assault. No, I don't mind being catcalled. Like, there's an appropriate situation for that. The operating room, an anesthesiologist with a pediatric patient is not the appropriate environment to be commenting on a minor's anatomy when she's having surgery. That is an assault, especially since he was in charge of drugging me. Hello? Do you see a theme here? Drugging me and putting me asleep. That is an assault. Yeah, and the people that like never even talked to Kat, like was saying hi to Kat, like Layla, like, oh yeah, Kat, I'm so sorry. Seeing you stream without you seemed like good for her. Yeah, this is the only time Layla's ever talked to Kat. Like, and last night when Kat was all up on Drew's nuts. Like, hey guys, what's this topic for tonight? Are we gonna bash Aphrodite tonight? Oh, okay, cool. I'm here with my popcorn. High five, everybody. Oh, mm-hmm. These men have like so little of a life that all they do is like focus on my life. You know, like they did a whole like show devoted to me, and then the next day I show up into chat and nobody says hi to me. Like, okay, you guys can devote a whole show to me, and then I show up and nobody acknowledges my existence. Okay, okay, like bunch of parasites. Layla says, good people don't have to constantly tell stories about how good they are. Layla, why don't you tell some stories? I know you don't have a good relationship with your mother before she died or something. Like, why don't you share some stories? Why don't you share about how you and Drew met, or like what he did for you for Mother's Day? Like, let's hear about it. Let's hear about your guys' life, since you want to pick apart my life. Get chucked up says, so you're worried more about yourself than a creature in trouble. What are you talking about? Dimitri filmed me. There's all kinds of videos online, especially motorcycle videos, where they stop and save turtles. It's a thing. Thanks, Kat, for saying I'm not a meth addict. Thank you. Not what he says. If you are a goddess, why did you not help the dog? Well, this was before I had my awakening that I was Aphrodite. Um, I told you because I knew I was good. If I said something, if I even drew attention to myself, these guys probably have jumped me. They're all laughing at it was like a little French bulldog, and he was like done up. Like you could tell that it wasn't his dog. Like it probably was his girlfriend's dog, because the dog had like a shirt on, like a tuxedo shirt. Like it was like a very loved, paid attention to dog. But this guy was kicking it, so it was like, okay, this guy's probably not. Like I just like I kind of know the story. Like I know the story. I get information about people. So it was like I kind of just knew it was the boyfriend taking the dog for a walk, and he was at the liquor store with his buddies, and they were all, and it's like I knew if I said, hey, that would have put me at such of a risk of getting jumped, because it was like 2 or 3 in the morning and there was nobody else on the streets. I was walking to my car. So yeah, I'm not gonna, I didn't have, all I had was my keys. So what was I gonna do if they, look at me and then they start running at me? I was 3 against 1. I'm not, but I went home and I cried about that dog. Oh yeah, I did. I think about that dog a lot. Oh, Drew says, Aphrodite, we're here to call out your BS, to help you fix your life if you're willing to listen. Thanks, Drew. Hi, Sherry Ann. Thanks, Sherry Ann. I don't know how I get the comments to stick. Start a comment. And like Drew, like that's why I think Drew is an agent, because he just like perpetuates this narrative that I'm like a drug addict, and like it doesn't matter how many, like it's been for years now, so it doesn't matter like how much. It's like he's been given this mission to like sell a narrative about me and like police my story or something. I don't know. It's weird. Teddy says, Aphrodite, you flunked out of medical school. No, actually, I was kind of top of my class. Sherry Ann says, Sherelle is a sweetheart also. Yes, Sherelle is a sweetheart. I'm not Dimitri. I'm not treating Dimitri badly. Like I don't know how you guys, I know like Drew and Layla are like barely in the same room for more than 2 seconds. But Dimitri and I are like in the same room 24/7, like for 3 years now. So, yeah, there's times where it does get like tension. But yeah, we get through it and we're better for it. So yeah, it does take a certain mentality and structure and way of doing things to be able to live this life without, without it getting really nasty or messy, or like we have our roles and yeah, we get stuff done. So I don't see anybody else showing their relationship, you know. You want to like, people, single people want to pick apart somebody. When I was married, I didn't even spend this much time with my husband, my ex-husband, as I do with Dimitri. Like I've never spent this much time with a man. Like it's literally 24/7. Like there's no jobs, there's no breaks. So, I mean, you can think about your significant other, your past significant other, and think about never leaving, never going to a job, them never going to a job. You guys do everything together. And think like you guys might argue sometimes. Even just like argue about directions. Like we're always driving, you know. So it's pretty fucked up. Kat wants to come in here and try to drop bombs, like, you know, like she has some intel about Dimitri and I's relationship. Like, go ahead. Say what you want to say, Kat. Like, you want to be Dr. Phil and tell Dimitri and I how we need to fix our relationship because it's suffering. Please be my guest since you're the expert on relationships. Aphrodite, did you ever kill a patient accidentally? No. All my patients got better. And that was the thing about the surgeon that trained me. He has never been sued ever once. Like I was trained by like the super super ethical, like wrote the book. I mean, we even worked together on writing protocol for the hospital about physician assistants and OR protocol. Like we wrote the bylaws, like the rules. Like I wrote with my boss about how to work with the physician assistant. Like I wrote the rules for the hospital with him because I was the first physician assistant he was working with, and it was my first position as a physician assistant. But yeah, he had never been sued, and he started working as a doctor before CPR was invented, like in the 50s. So he's from Chicago, went to Notre Dame, and then went to Johns Hopkins, and then finished up at UCSF, University of California, San Francisco, and Stanford. And then he stayed in Stanford and UCSF training surgeons. And then at the end of the career, he hired me to be his physician assistant. And so he trained me like he trained all of his surgeons. He's like, I'm just going to train you like I train all my 5th-year surgical residents. I was like, sweet, that's what I want. Like, so no, we never accidentally killed a patient. Other doctors did, though, especially cardiologists. A lot of diagnostic angiograms, a lot of accidents happen there because they're trying to do it quick. And cardiologists are not surgeons. Cardiologists are not surgeons, but they do a lot of surgical procedures. Yeah. A lot of perforations, like through the vena cava into the lung. Drew says, you're not in the medical field to help people. You're busy being selfish in a bread truck. And Drew's busy tearing apart women in a bread truck on his YouTube channel because he has 2 little children at home and he doesn't want to be a dad because his dad's a child molester. Oh, Ben Thorpe's here. Gotta jump on that. Notice what he comments on. Of course. Pot calling the kettle. Now Ben Thorpe is picking apart Kat's incest story. Yeah, how does that feel, Kat? Kat, incest and sexual abuse are disordered, but they don't make you do heroin. Dimitri, they're all Kat's trying to talk shit about how I treat you. And they're all saying hashtag free Dimitri. He's laughing. Oh, he got me a present. You got to show it off. It must be to bribe me, to keep me from, so he can get his extra portion of meal tonight. He gives me a bribe sometimes so I can, I only give him 2 lashings instead of 3. Oh, you went to McDonald's? What? You went to McDonald's? Oh, I should end it? Bye, everybody. I'm still in the comments here. Not where they said she should be grateful to you because she met Dimitri through you. What? Yeah, Kat. Juice says Aphrodite needs to go back to work. Too much free time making her spiral. Yeah, free time driving across country. Yeah, it's just like I just drove through Arkansas this morning. It was free time. I actually have way more structure now than I did when I was back in the apartment, even when we were building the bread truck. Yeah. What part of my story is not lining up? Drew says expectations are disappointments waiting to happen. Yeah, we gotta have standards, right? Don't compare you getting blackout drunk to a child being taken advantage of. What are you talking about? Me being under anesthesia when I was 17 is a child being taken advantage of. I was a child when I was 17, and I was taken advantage of by the anesthesiologist. Both men were in positions of power administering drugs to me. Kat says, I told her once she is making it like that's all I talked about. That's what she's doing. No, Kat, you talk about your stories a lot in person. You talked about it a lot. That's why I was so appalled, Kat, is that you did talk about it so much with me that I thought you would say something when people were attacking me, because you would have empathy for me, because you've been through your own situation and I listened to you. So I thought you would have my back and say something, but you want to try to peddle some narrative that I don't treat Dimitri correctly, and you want to foster the narrative that I'm a liar and that I'm embellishing and stuff. So yeah, I thought you would have said something, Kat, and I'm really disappointed because I thought you were my friend, and it really hurts my feelings that you're acting like this and not just saying you're sorry. Like, I don't know. Ben says, surprisingly, most disordered sexual activity, even in childhood, has very little lasting effect on people. It's a small minority of people in these situations who can't seem to move on to other things. Actually, that's completely false, Ben. You're a liar and demented. And I know like you like to have Grace quote Sigmund Freud, who in fact had an active sexual relationship with his daughter in adulthood. Sigmund Freud like regularly had sex with his adult daughter, like they were in a relationship. And she was a psychologist too. So yeah, if you're getting that information, like that's where you're getting your information. Like all these like freaking child molesters over here, like honestly, like whew. Drew says maybe it happens, but if I was on a jury of 12, your story wouldn't convince me beyond a reasonable doubt to convict a man. Okay. Are we in a court of law right now? Did I press charges? Is there somebody accused on trial? Nope. Nope. Layla says women like Aphrodite are the reason why real victims of abuse don't even want to talk about what happened. No, it's because people like you, Layla, and your so-called husband who abuse women who come out and tell the truth and pick apart their story. Like, if you guys want to pick apart my original story where I'm in my car and I don't have some like nasty incest victim like screaming at me, if you want to pick apart that story, like, no, but you want to pick apart the one where like an incest victim is screaming at me, and then say, oh, you're the real reason victims don't come out. No, you're the reason, Layla. You're the reason why women don't speak out. Just let it go, Aphrodite. It's not good. It's not a good look. Well, you made the show about me. Here, Sally Stewie. Ben, are you coping for things done, or how do you come to such dumb Freudian conclusions? Exactly. Freudian. I don't know why you guys think this stupid thing about me apparently calling you guys trannies is some kind of like nail in the coffin. Like, you guys have insulted me every single day pretty much for the past 3 to 4 years. So if you think you have some proof about me calling you a tranny, ooh, Aphrodite's a bad person. Like, I don't even remember calling you guys a tranny. I even remember calling you agents over and over again. Sherry Ann says women have been sexually abused for centuries and had to decide what to do with the babies. Get off here and research history. Exactly. Yeah, you guys should post the receipts. Yeah, yeah. Maybe you'll get some sympathy. Maybe you'll be the victim since you guys, you don't like victimhood. Talking about your mother who didn't love you and your dad's a child molester and Lily's mom died and she had a bad relationship with her. If you guys want to post this 4-year-old comment of me calling you guys a tranny, please exploit your victimhood. Please. Maybe you'll get a medal and people will love you more because they will know for sure that Aphrodite called you a tranny one day ago. Ben says, Aphrodite will never be able to work in the medical field again. Yeah, okay. That's why they're knocking down my door. Balda says, these streets hard, girl. Yeah. Drew says, if you're a surgeon, why are you on food stamps? I don't know. Why did 2020 happen? Why did a whole society of people accept mass propaganda? I don't know, Drew. Top Feed Coco says, I believe they're called arthroscopic surgeons, not hand surgeons. No, actually, they're called hand surgeons. Hand surgeon is a very, very high level of expertise. An arthroscopic surgeon is somebody that works on joints. So there's surgeons that only work on knees, some surgeons that work on knees and hips, some surgeons, a surgeon that works on knees probably won't do the shoulder. Those are different surgeons. Those are different orthopedic surgeons. But a hand surgeon is like highly, highly specialized. So if you're getting a hand surgery by some podunk joint surgeon that does all kinds of surgeries on joints, probably not the best person. Probably want to go to the guy that only does hand surgeries. Because this is your quality of life. Anything with your dexterity, your upper arms are more valuable than your lower legs. You can have a higher quality of life without two legs than you can without two arms. So your hands are like the most important. So like even brain surgeons aren't that great. I worked with a brain surgeon and he never operated. Brain surgeons are a bunch of weenies. They will try to get out of operating any way they can. But yeah, the surgeons have different flavors. Like heart surgeons, notoriously bad people. Heart surgeons, cheaters, like liars. They're just bad people. I think as you, well, you have it's a certain it's a selection, right? So only the people that can deal with the work make it. You know, only the cutthroat people. So you get to a certain level of expertise. The people are woo, like the heart surgeons. Every heart surgeon I've met has been a really bad person, like bad person, like abusive in the OR, like yeah, you have like abuse happens in the OR, like people are abused in the operating room, like interpersonally, like there's a whole other dynamic that isn't exposed to like normal, you know, HR and stuff, because it's like you have to be able to cut it, like you have to be able to roll with it. It's very military, so you have to be able to take the punches and stuff. Maybe I'll have a better time looking at comments on here. Ah, this is easier. Okay. Well, I'm way behind. All right, what? Leila says she's acting like victimhood gives her the right to treat people like shit. It doesn't make. Who am I treating like shit? Liz Antoinette, I put band-aids on my grandkids, so now I'm a nurse. Rusty Schmackelford, Aphrodite is the same actor that plays Cardi B. Oh. Um, TV says this is the most people she's had in her live chat in her whole YouTube excursion. See what they do for views. Hashtag nasty work. Yeah, since you like spend your time making Photoshop images of me, TBE. Yeah. Talk about selling your soul for views. La, 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 la. Well, oh. All right. Kat, you already were with these guys, so if you want to give yourself excuses on why it's okay to be with, on these guys' side, laughing at me and picking me apart, that's your choice. Um, well, it's too slow. I only have you guys have a lot of comments in between where I can get to on there versus here, but um, she says this is 40-year-old ovaries crying out in desperation. Like, what's the point of your channel, Drew? Like, are you trying to better society? Like, are you being some kind of police, like truther cop? Like, are you helping people? Like, you want them to get back into the matrix and get a job and pay taxes? Is that your goal? Like, it's to round up all of the people that have left society and like shame them back into working? Is that what your motive is? You're saying the loneliness of no children slowly sinking in. Why don't you go be a dad and stop being on like freaking chats all day long? Like talking with Paul about existential masculinism and how to I don't even know what like you'd rather talk to Paul every day than talk to your own kids. Like that's pretty pathetic. You guys are just disgusting. Oh, your kids are watching this, Drew? That's nice. Can tell them all about getting raped and their grandfather. Leo says, you acting like this is why no one shows you respect. You will never take accountability. What accountability? What am I not taking accountability for? Leo says, it's comedy to us at this point. I'm glad that you have some content to consume while both of you guys are watching your children. Donald Marshall just had surgery in Arizona. It would be cool to meet up with him. Who's Donald Marshall? The Ankovich. Drew says, if you're the Christ, how could the doctors be in a position of power? You guys are like so dumb. Like, I had my spiritual awakening like in 2016. So I really wasn't thinking about, I was at 17, I was just kind of flabbergasted that that had to happen, but I was more just concerned about recovering from my wisdom teeth. So, okay. Toffee Coco says, so how does one know if they were taken advantage of while under anesthesia, if they are unconscious on anesthesia? That's a really good point, is that you're trusting that people in the operating room are not going to allow certain things to happen. So that's why I was a voice when there were a few times when a scrub nurse or somebody commented. It was usually on male genitalia, but I would always speak up because I don't roll like that. Like, you don't talk to my patients like that even when they're unconscious. But yeah, but it does happen. There are ORs where they talk about the patient and nobody does anything because the doctor's doing it or because the anesthesiologist is doing it, and it's just kind of the culture of that room. But when it was my operating room, I made sure if anybody did talk, like unethically, like no, we're here to do. And even like we didn't play any music. Like, we were not an operating room. It was quiet, silent, focused, no distractions, no. Like the doctor and I would talk. He would tell me war stories about surgery and like training and stuff. So we would have minor conversations sometimes, but only like if it was in a not a crazy part of the surgery, OCAT says it was partly your fault for drinking so much that you got raped, not that he was right. Okay, so now it's my fault I got raped. Okay, Kat. Yeah, but it wasn't that I was just drunk. He drugged me. He drugged me. Toffee Coco says, were I an anesthesiologist, I would record the entire process just in case some wingnut like this dreamed up a grape story up. Yeah, you can't record people while they're naked having medical procedures. That's an assault. Yeah, so Toffee, you plan to record people while they're under, you can't do that. That's called assault. You can't record people in the operating room without their explicit consent, permission about what you're taking pictures of, what you're filming, the reason for the film. Even like students in the operating room, you have to have explicit permission from the patient for anybody else in the operating room that's not supposed to be there to be there. It's not like, oh, the patient's out, we can do whatever we want. Ask Dimitri why he worked on my car right now. Did Dimitri lie and tell you he did it for free? No. Ask him right now, or you're full of it. Oh, okay. Dimitri worked on your car because you're my friend, and he was being nice to you through me. You think if you met Dimitri on the street, you'd hire him to work on your car? Like, are you serious? I never said Dimitri worked on your car for free. Kat wants to know why you worked on her car. What? What? He said it's a van. What you think? He doesn't want to say anymore. Hi, Truden Show. Yeah, Jan says, Kim is always so true. See all our vids. Huge fan. Thanks, Dan. Kat says, maybe listen from the start. I don't know what you're trying to spin, Kat. Yeah, I don't, yeah, if you're not, if somebody's like laughing at my rape story and you're in the chat room doing hearts and stuff, like, yeah, nah. That says, people accuse you for being a man. I defended you then too. Man, nothing is enough for you. Yeah, you did, Kat. And I also defended you from everybody that talks shit about you because you're my friend. So yeah, when I thought people were having a whole show about me picking apart, and you call me and you're like, Aphrodite, they're making a show about you. I came here to defend you, but they're being really mean. And I click in like I didn't already know, and you're not defending me. Obviously you just want drama. Like, why did you call me if you're not even in the chat defending me? You just like there for the show? Like, you're there because you believe that I'm a liar? Like, why did you call me? You just want drama? Like, because you didn't defend me. The only thing you said was I don't do drugs. So, yeah. Yeah, and you've defended me the past day I'm not a tranny. But I don't know, Kat. Did you see everything on me? Do you not have all the facts? You have all the facts? Yeah, Kat wants to know all the facts about my rape before she defends me and supports me. So she doesn't know all the facts, then she can't. She'll just put a heart in the chat for the people calling me a liar. So, oh. I never said to me she worked on your car for free, Kat. Sorry, guys, I'm like so behind on the chat. Kat says, he told you he did it for nothing so you wouldn't know he had money? Or why won't you ask him? Kat, I know you paid him money for fixing your vehicle. Okay, guys, I'm going to go. Thanks for joining. Thanks for supporting me. Like, I know everybody's going to watch the channels they watch. Like, you know, I said what I said. I'm not holding grudges on anybody, you know, like, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to continue my life like I always have. Like, this is a new story for me. This is something I've lived with. Like I said, the testimony that's not chopped up and I'm not getting screamed at is posted. So I guess I'll end it there. Thanks for joining. Bye.